Dan here, the E-Speed Shop. I actually just had this thing all apart. I was cleaning out the carburetor. Used the 55 Chevrolet as a workbench. It was full of junk, so hopefully it's been cleaned. 2 cans of brake clean later. Anyways, I did videos in the past where they weren't like a how-to, but it was just kind of like a simple little thing here. And then just recently in the last week, both videos have had new comments on it. It kind of brought it to my attention. They actually had a lot of views on it. And all the comments were kind of along the lines of, hey, this is a helpful little thing. So I guess this isn't like a, you're really gonna use it right now, but it's out there on the internet forever. And I kind of think stuff like this should last as much as possible. So what we're doing here, this is like the cheapest, easiest kind of thing you can do to add a little bit of, you know, feeling in the pants, exploration, fun time, the oomph. So this is your standard run-of-the-mill small block Chevrolet. It's a 70 block or whatever. 350, it's got just headers and an intake manifold, stock camshaft. I mean, nothing special whatsoever, but it's still kind of before they were completely neutered and stuff like that in the late 70s and all that. But anyway, so we put a brawler, Holly, whatever it is, kind of 4-barrel on it, just kind of like warming it over. And this to me is like the classic what you would do to a regular hot rod. It's got stock converter, all these sort of things in it. It has an HEI in it. I assume a China one I got off Amazon. And when I was setting the timing on it, you really had to put the RPM into it for it to put all of the mechanical advance into it. So it wasn't having all of its timing into like 3,500 RPM. Danielle's falling asleep behind the camera here.
No, just the.
Oh, I used a lot of brake clean there.
Really,
so I'm ready to go.
Brake clean.
But anyway, I thought what we'd do, I'd ordered this little kit. This is an all-star one. Moroso makes it. I'm sure there's all sorts of other things. We're not going to use the whole kit in this application, but this is a thing that I didn't understand for a lot of years, and then it became very, very simple later on in life. And I don't know if people know about this or whatever. Everyone talks about it. A little Recurve the distributor. Like, oh, that sounds crazy. But if you want to go on this side, I'll just kind of show you.
What's this kit called?
Recurve kit, maybe? A GM HEI Advanced Curve Kit. So you can get it for that. You can get it for like little distributors, whatever it may be. So this is your standard HEI. I've kind of just taken the cap off. And then obviously this is where the rotor would fit, so that's off. Now, in the way this works, she's spinning around, and it's got a set of weights and a set of springs. And centrifugal force is going to pull these weights out. And what the springs are doing is just kind of working against you. So, and as you can see when you open these springs, you see how this piece here kind of moves, it advances. So what that is going to do is if this is on there, it's going to move this around, move the rotor around, which essentially advances your timing. So it's a mechanical way of changing the timing based on RPM by using those weights with centrifugal force. It sounds a little complicated. Now, it's very, very simple. All we're going to do, this kit comes with weights, which are, I don't know, we'll probably leave the stock ones on for now. And you can see in here it's got these little bushings and it's got these little springs. Now, there's kind of 3 different ways of doing it. The weights can affect how much, obviously, centrifugal force you have. The bushings control how much advance will go into the distributor. So mechanically, if you want 10, 15, 20 degrees, you can kind of change the bushing. In this kit, I think only has 2 options. We're not going to change any of that. All we're going to do is change these springs. And you can kind of see in this kit, this spring right there, the coil is bigger, and this one here, it's very skinny. I believe that's the way what this one is, the gold spring, yeah. So the gold spring is going to allow the weight to fling open a lot easier than these stock ones. You can see kind of the coil is kind of bigger. And I have a little chart here, and what this is going to do is basically, if you put the gold spring in, which is the solid line, by, call it, I don't know, 2,500 RPM, all the timing is in. And if you put in the black spring, which is probably stock, which all the timing comes in kind of at, 5,000 RPM, and then even the silver spring is even less. And then depending on what you do for a bushing, it allows different amounts of timing to come in and out. So hopefully I'm making sense, I'm not just rambling. Ultimately, if you only take one thing from this video, if you have it fling open earlier, That means you'll put more timing in earlier, which means more power earlier. Now, the only thing you have to be aware of, so we'll just kind of mangle this one and take it out because we don't care, it's useless. But you can see how big and heavy this spring is to pull open. Now, I will say this is not a one thing fits all. You do have to be aware of what you're doing. You want to see how much timing you want to put in a more racy application, let's call it. You would have more initial timing. Let's say you have 25 degrees initial timing or something like that. You may want 10 or 15 degrees of mechanical. That's not in a little bag, which I thought it was. We'll just find that other spring later. What was I saying there?
It's not a one size fits all.
Oh yeah, it's not a one size fits all. We only need this gold spring. We'll find everything else. But now you can just see this little gold spring is quite a bit smaller and moves a lot easier. I believe that's the smallest one. Yeah, because you can compare it to what's got here. Do you still have the old one?
Yeah.
So, probably similar. Well, I guess maybe it's a black spring. But you can just kind of tell, obviously, this is a noticeably smaller spring, which means it's going to have less resistance, which means it'll put more timing in faster. So in this case, it'll have a large swing, probably 20 degrees or so of timing. This is also going to have vacuum advanced steel and all that on it. I might just be able to do this by hand. There you go. So you can just clearly see that spring versus that spring. These weights will fling open easier is the plan. So that's kind of all we're going to do. We'll have to reset the timing. Ouch, this is pinching me. I've lost the other one. We'll have to find the other spring and kind of play with it from there. So again, in this situation, without changing anything else, this thing already has the base timing set and it has the all-in timing set. I think I set it at like 36 degrees all in, and it probably has 20 degrees of swing or something like that in it, so it's probably at like 15, 16 degrees initial. None of that is going to change. All that's going to change in this application is where it goes from 16 to 36 will happen earlier in the RPM sweep. So feel like you have more power down low. So that being said, obviously with timing and all, you got to worry about detonation and all that sort of stuff. So be aware of those things and kind of go from there. But this is just a super simple. I think the kit's like $12 or something like that, and immediately you feel like you have more power. Because like I said, this thing didn't have all the timing until like 4,000 RPM, and now it should have it all in by 2,500 or something like that. Make sense? Perfect. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you get something out of this, and hopefully 5 years from now when you're watching this, think younger, better looking, probably your skinnier Dan. And I'm going to get on my hands and knees and look for this spring, which I've lost now. Son of a gun, eh? At least it's the smallest one, so it'll be the hardest to find. It's on the bushings.